Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, fourth chapter, the process of creation, text number 24. So Sukadeva Goswami is further speaking to Maharaj while praying to Krishna and glorifying Krishna. Now, respectful obeisances unto Srila Vyasadeva, because that's where he heard all this knowledge from. Text 24. Namastasmai Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vedase Papargyanamaya Somya Yanmukhamburu Hasavam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of Vasudeva, who compiled the Vedic scriptures. The pure devotees drink of the nectarian transcendental knowledge dropping from the lotus-like mouth of the Lord. In pursuance of the specific utterance of knowledge, Srila Sridhar Swami has commented that the respectful obeisances are offered to Srila Vyasadeva, who is the incarnation of Vasudeva. Srila Sukadeva Goswami has agreed to this, but Srila Vishwanath Thakur has from the mouth of Lord Krishna is transferred to his different consorts, and thus they learn the finer arts of music, dance, dressing, decorations, and all such things, which are relished by the Lord. Such music, dance, and decorations enjoyed by the Lord are certainly not anything mundane, because the Lord is addressed in the very beginning as Para or transcendental. This transcendental knowledge is unknown to the forgotten conditioned souls. Srila Vyasadeva, who is the incarnation of the Lord. So Vyasadeva, now, see, Vyasadeva comes every Kali Yuga. Every Dwapara Yuga, towards the end of Dwapara Yuga. But this, when Krishna appears, like once in a one day of Brahma, so in that Dwapara Yuga, the Vyasadeva who comes, he is the literary incarnation of Lord. Other Dwapara Yugas, the Vyasadeva could be any living entity who is qualified for that position. Like it is said that next Dwapara Yuga, the end of Dwapara Yuga, the Vyasadeva will be Ashwatthama, who is Ashwatthama right now. He will become next Vyasadeva. But this Vyasadeva, or his name is Dvapayan Vyas or Ved Vyas, one who expands the Vedas, he is literary incarnation of Krishna. He thus compiled the Vedic literatures to revive the lost memory of the condition, the eternal relation with the Lord. One should therefore try to understand the Vedic scriptures or the nectar transferred by the Lord to his consorts in the conjugal humor from the lotus-like mouth of Vyasadeva or Shukdev. So nicely this analogy is given. It's said, the translation, pure devotees drink of the nectarian transcendental knowledge dropping from the lotus-like mouth of the Lord. So whatever comes out of the lotus mouth of the Lord is nectarian transcendental knowledge. It's full of nectar. And Vyasadeva and subsequently Sukadeva Goswami, who's going to speak, and Vyasadeva, who has compiled that knowledge. So it's basically for us in the conjugal humor, means the gopis, to really enjoy that nectar. And this is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, himself, who is Krishna himself, but in the mood of Radharani. And he would go every day when he was in Jagannath Puri. From Gambhira, he would go every day to Toda Gopinath temple where Gadadhar Pandit used to live. And Gadadhar Pandit is Radharani herself. And he would listen every day to Bhagavatam. Mahaprabhu would sit down and listen, and Gadadhar Pandit would speak Bhagavatam. And especially the stories of Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. And they would find so much of nectar in that, in those stories, that they would literally cry. And by the tears of Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit, the Bhagavatam they had, and the ink of that Bhagavatam was pretty much all smushed up. That's how much they relished Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is about Krishna, Bhagavad Gita is by Krishna. It's same. There's no difference. By gradual development of one can dance displayed by the Lord in his Ras Leela. So by gradual development of transcendental knowledge, and this knowledge, first of all, taking it from the right source, bona fide authority, and then imbibing that knowledge, following that knowledge, one can rise to the stage of transcendental arts of music and dance, displayed by the Lord in his Ras Leela. Means one can get qualified to enter Ras Leela of Krishna. But one might think, oh, Ras Leela of Krishna is so high topic and only gopis are allowed and this and that. But Krishna has come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why Mahaprabhu is so merciful. So the Ras Leela of Krishna with his gopis is also enacted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Leela. And that Ras Leela by by Krishna, equivalent of that Ras Leela in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela is his Sankirtan moment. So his dancing in Sankirtan with his devotees is compared to Krishna dancing with gopis in Ras Leela. So by mercy of Prabhupada, we are given this chance to enter the Sankirtan moment of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is not different from Ras Leela of Krishna actually. So one has to understand that point. So means by reading Bhagavatam, by following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, and then we are getting a chance to enter into the Sankirtan movement of Mahaprabhu, and which is non-different from Ras Leela. So this is how powerful it is. The pure devotees of the Lord, however, can equally relish the nectar in the forms and in the form of kissing by the Lord in the rasa dance, as there is no mundane distinction between the two. So relish the nectar in the form of profound philosophical discourse. It means Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, so the words emanating from his mouth and his kissing of gopis in the rasa dance, there's no difference because they both are on absolute platform, transcendental platform, both the activities. So we have to come to that understanding, and we have to really enjoy. Then one can enjoy, one can relish. Even Bhagavad Gita, of course, we think, oh, it's so boring, so boring. It's so much philosophy. But we have to understand it's coming right from the mouth, lotus lips of Krishna. So it's not different from his flute, playing on his flute. It's not different from his calling his girls, his girlfriends, gopis. And it's not different from Krishna kissing his gopis. There's no difference. Of course, because we are on mundane platform, we are materialistic consciousness, we don't see that. Why people want to only discuss about Ras Leela of Krishna and Krishna's the intimate pastimes with gopis? Because we have that sex desire to enjoy the sexual life inside us. That's why we think, oh, more tasty, more juicy, more nectarian, more rasic, or Bhagavad Gita. This is how we make the difference. But there is no difference in Krishna's sense. Because we have those faults, those shortcomings in ourselves. That's why we make distinction in Krishna's pastimes. We have to get above that. We have to come to transcendental platform. Then we can really relish everything about Krishna. Text 25. Etadevatma bhurajan naradaya viprichyate vedagarbho abhyadat sakshadeva hariratmanaha. My dear King Brahma, the firstborn, my dear King Brahma, the firstborn, on being questioned by Narad, exactly apprised him on this subject, as it was directly spoken by the Lord to his own son, who was impregnated with Vedic knowledge from his very birth. So, question by Maharaj Parikshit was basically he wanted to know about different energies of Krishna, how he does this process of creation, and how he appears in this whole creation and does his pastimes. So, Sukadeva Goswami rightly, before jumping to answer the questions, he prayed to Krishna. He glorified Krishna. He prayed to Krishna, please give me the strength to answer these questions properly. Then he prays to Vyasadeva. And then he says, same question was Narad Muni to Brahmaji. Next chapter when it starts, now the conversation between Naradji and Brahmaji will start. So there are so many conversations going on at the same time. Shaunak Rishi is asking Sukadeva Goswami that what is the conversation going on between Maharaj Parikshit and Sukadeva Goswami. So he is telling, and so then we came into Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj's conversation. So Parikshit Maharaj asked a question, and Sukadeva Goswami first he prayed to Krishna, glorified him, and then now he's going to answer. But he said the same question was asked by Naradji to Brahma. And now from next chapter, this is Srimad Bhagavatam. we have to keep track of what is going on where, otherwise we'll lose the focus. So anyway, on the lotus petals of Vishnu, he was impregnated with Vedic knowledge. And therefore he is known as Ved Garbha, or a Vedantist from the embryo. So from the very beginning of his life, he had the Vedic knowledge. Without Vedic knowledge or perfect, infallible knowledge, no one can create anything. All scientific knowledge and perfect knowledge are Vedic. Means everything. Actually, Veda means knowledge. The word Veda means knowledge. So every knowledge actually comes from Vedas, whether it is scientific or medical or engineering or social, political, psychology, and everything. The basis is Vedas. It's how they have transformed slowly. Now we don't have faith in the Vedas, so we say, oh, this knowledge is different from Vedas. But everything comes from Vedas. Source is Vedas. One can get all types of information from the Vedas, and as such, Brahma was impregnated with all perfect knowledge so that it was possible for him to create. And Brahmaji did the whole creation based on the knowledge from the Vedas. Thus, Brahma knew the perfect description of creation as it was exactly apprised to him by the Supreme Lord Hari. Brahmaji, on being questioned by Narad, told Narad exactly what he had heard directly from the Lord. Narad again told exactly the same thing to Vyas. And Vyas also told Shukadeva exactly what he heard from Narad. And Shukadeva was going to repeat the same statements as he had heard them from Vyas. That is the way of Vedic understanding. The language of Vedas can be revealed only by the above mentioned disciplic succession and not otherwise. And one thing we will see when Narad Muni asked creation, what did Brahmaji do? He didn't just start speaking. He glorified again Krishna, he prayed to Krishna. So every devotee does that. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in beautiful prayers, they all do to Krishna to get all this knowledge and to get the capacity and capability to speak. So Prabhupada further writes, there is no use in theories. Knowledge must be factual. There are many things that are complicated and one cannot understand them unless they are explained by one who knows. The Vedic knowledge is also very difficult to know and must be learned by the above-mentioned system. Otherwise, it's not at all understood. Above-mentioned system means coming in parampara. Sukadeva Goswami therefore prayed for the mercy of the Lord so that he might be able to repeat the very same that was spoken directly by the Lord to Brahma, or what was directly spoken by Brahma to Narada. Therefore, the statements of creation explained by Sukadeva Goswami are not at all, as the mundaners suggest, theoretical, but are perfectly correct. One who hears these messages and tries to assimilate them gets perfect information of the material creation. So even to repeat exactly what he heard, it's not like he's giving some new knowledge or something that he created, Sukadeva Goswami. He is praying to Krishna, just give me the blessing so I can repeat whatever I heard properly. So that's the position of a guru, real bona fide guru. So we'll start the 5th chapter. The cause of all causes, Sarva Karan Karanam. Text 1. Narad Vacha Dev Dev Namaste Astu Bhuta Bhavan Purvaja Tad Vijanihi Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Sri Narad Muni asked Brahmaji, O chief amongst the demigods, O firstborn living entity, I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Please tell me that transcendental knowledge which specifically directs one to the truth of the individual soul and the super soul. So first question he's asking is, please tell me the transcendental knowledge which specifically directs one to the truth of the individual soul and the super soul. The perfection of the parampara system of the path of disciplic succession is further confirmed. In the previous chapter, it has been established that Brahmaji, the firstborn living entity, received knowledge directly from the Supreme Lord, and the same knowledge was imparted to Narada, the next disciple. Narada asked to receive the knowledge, and Brahmaji imparted it upon being asked. Therefore, asking for transcendental knowledge from the right person and receiving it properly is a regulation of the disciplic succession. This process is recommended in the Bhagavad Gita. So Naradji is asking, and look how he's asking. First he says, I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you. And how he addressed Brahmaji, or chief amongst the demigods, or firstborn living entity, means with full respect. He's approaching his father, Brahmaji, and asking him these questions. Therefore, asking for transcendental knowledge from the right person and receiving it properly is a regulation of the disciplic succession. This process is recommended in Bhagavad Gita 4.2. The inquisitive student must approach a qualified spiritual master to receive transcendental knowledge by surrender, submissive inquiries, and service. Knowledge received by submissive inquiries and service is more effective than knowledge received in exchange for money. A spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from Narad and Brahma has no demand for dollars and cents. A bona fide student has to satisfy him by sincere service to obtain knowledge of the relation and nature of the individual soul and the supersoul. So means this knowledge cannot be purchased by giving money. This is so pure knowledge. It has to be asked for properly, and the approach has to be proper to a guru. Then this knowledge will be transferred. So that's the right mood, that's the right way. And even a spiritual master, he should not approach rich disciples out of greed for money, that they will give me money and I'll give them some knowledge. So that will be only, even if he gives any knowledge, there'll be only theoretical knowledge. There won't be any transformation. It will be just information, no transformation. So real knowledge means it should transform the heart of the disciple. First, the guru has to be disciple also, so his heart has to be transformed. And then whoever hears from him, their heart also gets transformed. Their heart gets purified. They get to understand what's the value of life, what's the goal of life, how to achieve that goal, and they start working on that goal. That's the right way. Text 2. Yad rupam yad adhishthanam yatah srishtimidam prabhu yat sanstham yat param yatcha tat tattvam vad tattvatah. My dear Father, please describe factually the symptoms of this manifest world. What's its background? How is it created? How is it conserved? And under whose control is all this being done? The inquiries by Narad Muni on the basis of factual cause and effect appear very reasonable. The atheists, however, put forward many self-made theories without any touch of cause and effect. The manifested world, as well as the spirit soul, is still unexplained by the godless atheists through the medium of experimental knowledge, although they have put forward many theories manufactured by the fertile brains. Contrary to such mental speculative theories of creation, however, Narad Muni wanted to know all the facts of creation in truth and not by theories. So Prabhupada is hinting at all this Darwin's theory and the Big Bang theory. So many theories are in vogue. They don't know exactly. Transcendental knowledge regarding the soul and the supersoul includes knowledge of the phenomenal world and the basis of its creation. In the phenomenal world, three things are factually observed by any intelligent man: the living beings, the manifest world, and the ultimate control over them. The intelligent man can see that neither the living entity nor the phenomenal world are creations of chance. The symmetry of creation and its regulative actions and reactions suggest a plan of an intelligent brain behind them. And by genuine inquiry, one may find out the ultimate cause, and cause with the help of one who knows them factually. So Prabhupada is saying the intelligent man, so of course there are so many non-intelligent people who don't see it, but intelligent man can see there is this nature or the manifest world, and there are so many living entities. What's the cause of the creation? Who created them? What happened? And who's the intelligent? What's the plan of intelligent brain behind all this? So person with the right frame of mind, he will ask these questions. He wants to know. And this is what Narad Muni is asking. I don't know when did he ask Brahmaji this question? Maybe in the beginning, I don't know. But since Bhagavatam doesn't mention it here, so I don't know when these questions. But this is how Sukadeva Goswami Maharaj question. He said, "Oh, this question was asked by Narad Muni to Brahmaji." So this is how their conversation went, and Sukadeva Goswami is speaking this to Parikshit Maharaj. So I'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. So I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna,
Jai
Prabhuji.
Shri
Thank you very
Prabhupada.
much.
Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.